Cole, just a devastating scene at Saints practice where Dez Bryant was running a pass route when he crumpled to the turf. People who were there said you could hear a pop. Bryant had to be helped off the field. Immediately, teammates and others feared the worst, a significant injury. The initial diagnosis is an Achilles tear. That would obviously be season-ending. Bryant will undergo an MRI and get a second opinion, but those are really considered formalities at this point. Now, in terms of the short-term impact on the Saints, they were not planning to have Bryant active for Sunday's game against the Bengals anyway. He only would have had 2 practices under his belt, needed time to shed a few pounds, get up to speed in the offense, build chemistry with his quarterback, really get himself back into game shape. The hope was Dez would be able to play the following week against the Eagles, ramp up to that big rematch with his old team, the Cowboys, on November 29th. Instead, it appears that Dez's season is over before it begins, and he now faces, Ian, a grueling 6 months or more of rehab to have a chance to play in 2019.
That's absolutely right. And if this was supposed to be Dez's coming out party, his return to the NFL, he had waited so long to find the right team, Tom, to land on, and he loved the opportunity with the Saints, even though it was for a lot less money than he might have made somewhere else. He believed this was a team that was potentially headed to the Super Bowl. Now, the Saints have to move on without him and potentially replace him. Brandon Marshall is the name that keeps coming up. I know he had an impressive workout the same day that Brian worked out. I would not be surprised, based on what I'm hearing, if they ended up signing Marshall down the line. But for Dez Bryant, this is a similarly emotional and devastating blow. He faces a long rehab. He is older than 30 years old, and you have to wonder, where is he going to land next, and just where and when is he going to be able to resurrect his career?
Yeah, and crumples and pops, never a good thing when you're talking about a wide receiver injury. Gentlemen, thank you very much. I'm sure you'll keep us posted on the very latest to Dez Bryant and that ongoing injury. In the meantime, Dez taking to Twitter where he said things was just starting to heat up for me. I won't question the man upstairs. This is the ultimate test. Thank you, everyone, for the prayers. There are plenty of prayers going up to 88. And his teammate, Michael Thomas, followed up with, best believe we throwing up the X still, bro. We all we got. So we all we got right here, MJD and Rod. And when it comes to a big blow for the Saints, this one huge, no doubt about it. But just how big was this, MJD?
Well, I think for the Saints, you've already played without Dez, so it wasn't that type of injury. True. I think for Dez, though, this is a huge blow because you've worked this whole season trying to get back and get on the team. You finally find the right team. And like he said in that tweet, you're never going to question the man upstairs, but you are going to question if you can bounce back from this. And that's important. How are you going to come back from this injury? How are you going to be able to go? I don't like when people try to say because he wasn't in football shape or game shape this happened. True. People get hurt all the time that are in game shape. It's just when tendons go, that means it's time for it to go. Yeah. Point blank, period.
Sean Watson last year in practice, we saw a little bit of the same right there. The huge blow for Dez Bryant. Where's his mind at right now, Rod?
Well, you got to believe that he wants to play again because no player that's competitive inside of him, that has a competitive nature inside of him, that's been competing his whole life, want to go out like this. Mm-hmm. I got hurt going into my 8th year myself, and you always think, why me first? That's the first thing, and then you think, how can I get back? And you're not gonna talk about all the negativity that's going along with it because the Saints have played really good football. Mm-hmm. Dez Bryant, hopefully, he's never been a real speedster.
No.
So the good thing about that is that he still can come back and kind of be the same Dez that he's been in the past several years, where he's big physical body, especially in the red zone. Yeah. He can make it test of catches over DBs. That can still be him. Just, Achilles at 30 years old, 8 years into this whole thing. That's going to be a tough one to come back from.
Maybe a position change. Maybe he bulks up a little bit and goes to tight end.
Bulk up, be a tight end, move back.
That was Rod's idea, though.
You back? You're talking about him going against a defensive end weighing 300 pounds.
Yeah. Come on. Dez Bryant has had a receiving season.
He's supposed to be tough.
Of 1,000 yards or more since 2014. So maybe he'll be a possession tight end, or maybe he won't be. Time now to take a spin around the league. Here's what else.